News Radio 1580 WCCF. This is Charlotte County Speaks. I'm Ken Lovejoy. Thank you very much for tuning in. 9:09 on a Hump Day Wednesday. Our phone lines are open for you at 941-206-1580. Toll free 888-441-1580. You can email us. The address is ccspeaks@live.com. You can like our Charlotte County Speaks Facebook page and check us out streaming live on the web at WCCFAM.com. Also on iHeartRadio. Tito Lawler back from ACT for America.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Very good. How are you?
Good, good. You brought some friends with you today.
I did. I have Dave Myers.
Good morning.
And Usama Daktuk.
And hello to everyone.
Hey, it's good to finally have you in studio. We had you on the phone last time.
Hey, I could not see your haircut on the phone, but now I feel like we're getting closer.
Look. Yeah.
Listen, I really enjoyed seeing people with nice haircuts.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, kind of doing an update here, as well as letting people know that Usama is going to be speaking January 12th, Monday.
That's
and
correct.
Tell us about that.
Well, go ahead.
Well, we will have a wonderful 5 hours, I believe, the program. How many hours we have?
No, I don't think it's 5.
Only maybe 2. But I believe, seriously, everyone who will listen to us right now need to be with us, because this is one opportunity where you can hear the entire story in its true teaching. We're not sugarcoating anything. We're not adding blood to what is already there. We're going to expose the lies which sadly has been taught for years to our children. I believe some of our teachers, excuse me, who are teaching right now in a public school are they're there because of the result what they have been taught a good 15 years ago. And this has to be stopped, because it is like evolution is Islam. Start small and get big. And believe me, the last 2 years, what we have seen written in our textbooks, it became bolder and bolder. Now the Muslim can literally say all what you want to teach our children in a bigger circle. So we need to stop it now, or it will be too late. And I hope we all get together, sincerity, whatever you're doing on that meeting, put it aside. If you have a favorite football match or game are going to be recorded, stop whatever you're doing and come join us, because we are here for this chance, for this time to learn the truth. Otherwise, who knows? Maybe I will not be here again in the next year to share the same message. So come, leave whatever you're doing and join us, because it's very important for us here to get together to learn the truth, to set our children free. Freedom is not cheap. And right now what we're seeing is the Muslims are taking over our children. They are literally infiltrating the mind and the heart and the soul of our future, our children. And we cannot live the sin of silence again.
It's true. And it's all coming up Monday, January 12th, 6 to 9 p.m. at the 2421 Event Center, in US 41 in Port Charlotte. It's a free educational event, open to the public. Knowledge is power, and there's a lot of knowledge to be gained. And, speaking of the religion of peace, they just had a heyday over in Paris, France. 12 killed at a Paris magazine that it's a satirical magazine, sort of like, I guess, Mad Magazine here in the States, Cracked Magazine, if you remember that. It's a satirical magazine. They had some jokes about Muhammad, and some whack job Muslim went in there and shot 12 people.
I believe that's a true Muslim believer who did what Allah commanded him to do.
Exactly.
And that's why we need to understand. When the amazing thing is, if the media talk about what Muslims doing, they're always trying to take it out of Islam. They're trying to say this guy is poor, this guy is uneducated, this guy have difficulty. When he was a child, his mama did not give him enough milk to breastfeed him. And all these good excuses we can give. No, we need to open the book, the Qur'an. We need to read the hadith, the teaching of Muhammad. We need to look at the Sunnah, the life of Muhammad, what Muhammad did in the past. It's exactly what Muslims are doing today. This terrorization of freedom of speech. And by the way, if you see what we have done in America, it's the same thing. Why you cannot go right now on air and see the Muhammad movie, this 19 minutes? You can see it on our website, because we continue to have it. But Obama and his people removed the Muhammad movie from the YouTube. I can watch it in Canada. I was in Canada last week. I can watch it. But I cannot see it in America. Why? Because we're becoming a coward nation, and we're not learning anything from England or from France or from German or from Holland or any of these European countries, we're doing the same thing here. So Obama literally in one hand said to these guys who have the movie last week, what's the name of the movies they took out? The movie about killing... yeah.
The interview.
In the interview. Obama said, this is very weak, that's not good. But he's doing the same thing with the Muhammad movie. If you describe Muhammad as it is written in the Quran, and as Muhammad stated about himself in the hadith, you will not see but a child molester, a sex offender, a prophet pretender, a womanizer, an adulterer, a thief, a killer, a very wicked man. That's who Muhammad is. And if Muslims do not know it, praise God, we're here to teach them about who Muhammad was. And that's not, I'm telling you, from some book written by Usama Daktok or some Jew or some Christian or some atheist. I'm talking about describing Muhammad as it is written in the Quran and the Hadith. And Muslims who are getting upset about a cartoon, excuse me, the man was a child molester. What 51 years old have to do with a 6 years old child? It is all over their books. Get rid of this veil, reveal Islam to the Muslims, and you'll set the world free. Muslim first, and we are second.
Now, this from Richard Buttrick, the dupe of Islam. The pronouncement from Islam is that the real face of Islam is a peaceful religion based on the dignity of all human beings. It's one where Muslim communities are leading the fight against poverty. It's one where Muslim communities are providing basic health care and emergency assistance on the front lines of some of our most devastating humanitarian crises. It's one where Muslim communities are advocating for universal human rights and fundamental freedoms, including the most basic freedom to practice one's own faith openly and freely. However, the U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom released its 2012 annual report, and more than 16 nations were designated as countries of particular concern for their flagrant and consistent human rights and religious violations. They include Iran, number 2, just behind North Korea, Pakistan, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia. Now, so if all those... You know, so where's the peaceful Islam?
The peace of Islam is it exists. It's Quran chapter 47 and verse 35, where Allah said, "Oh, you have believed." Allah speaking to the believer, "Do not be weak, calling for peace when you have the upper hand." I promise you, in America, in the next 18 years, you will have peaceful Muslims. But 11 years from now, you can kiss this peace goodbye, because Muslim will have the upper hand. There will be bombing in everywhere. Even this station we're sitting right now, I dare you, I challenge you, 11 years from now, have me on. You'll be dead in this building with everybody in this building. There'll be a big bomb, go pooh, after you hear the shout, Allahu Akbar. That is how Islam is. There's only peace when Muslims do not have the upper hand. Freedom of religion. Do you know what Allah said in Quran chapter 6 verse 151? He said, "Do not kill the soul which Allah forbid except for a just cause." The soul which Allah forbid for being killed is a Muslim soul. For every other soul must be put to death. And what is a just cause, my friend? If a Muslim commit adultery, if a Muslim kill another Muslim, or if a Muslim apostate from Islam, leaving Islam equal death. Where the edge is this freedom of religion? Are you kidding me?
It's like the mafia. You can't leave.
Well, Islam exists from day one by forcing the Arab to become Muslim. Not Usama Daktok, Allah. Quran chapter 49 verse 14. Allah said, the Bedouins, the Arabs, said, "We believed." Allah responded to Muhammad by telling him, say, "You did not believe, but say we submit." And that's the word Islam. The Islam does not mean peace. Islam means surrendering or submitting. Do not say we believe, but say we submit. For faith never enter your hearts. I'm quoting from my head right now. If you want to give you the exact word, I can open the Quran and show it to you. So the early Arab Muslim did not believe. They submit. They surrendered. They never have faith in their heart. Faith in what? In a child molester? You kidding me? They know Muhammad. And then you go to the 57 Muslim country. How Islam came to Egypt, how Islam go to every one of these 57 Muslim country, Muslim jihadi in the early days, the ISIS of Muhammad and Abu Bakr and Omar and Osman, these ISIS killed men in millions, raping their women and their daughters, raising Muslim babies. That's how Islam began in the Muslim world, in the 57 Muslim country. And the rest of the story is now written in our textbooks for our children. Islam is love, Islam is peace, and Muhammad is the greatest man who ever walked on the face of the earth. Give me a break.
It is very disturbing that the lies of Islam are being taught in our public schools, particularly in the 9th and 10th grade history books. And what, Tina, you and people from Act for America have been trying to get to the bottom of how these books, one, got adopted into our classrooms, and two, alternative books that should be used, and why the district keeps denying that they're teaching Islam in the schools when you've got a huge chapter on it in their books.
We have found not just a huge dedicated chapter, but it is throughout the entire textbook. My son is actually currently in one of these chapters in this textbook, and he was taking notes, and he was coming to me, and he said, "Mom, does this sound biased to you?" My child is inquiring, he's learning, and he wants to know the truth. He doesn't want to hear someone's interpretation. He doesn't want to hear a version. He wants the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And I think he deserves that. I don't think it, I know it. And what I have in front of me right now is actually we've been reaching out to teachers because my heart is very, very heavy for our education system. And I absolutely love my teachers. I call them my teachers because many of them were my teachers in Charlotte County Public Schools. But I love our teachers. And our teachers are struggling. They're struggling with all kinds of things. And the reason they're struggling is because we no longer have local community involvement or control. And that is evident in the testing. It's evident in Common Core adoption in 2009. And so I have a letter here. I have discussed this with dozens of teachers. And this happens to be a social studies teacher. I'd like to read a part of it just so that she had the opportunity to read what our research, what our report was. And she found it very interesting. So she said, "I personally do not understand the need nor the relevance of going in depth on the teachings of Islam." Now, this is just talking about the quantity, the amount, not the accuracy, because
as opposed to any other religion being taught.
Yes, exactly. And you know what? In reality, do you know of any teacher in Charlotte County Public Schools that is an expert in Islam that should be teaching this? Anyone that you can name?
And I need to add something very important. If they're teaching Islam, I have no problem with that. If they're opening the Quran and quoting verses to support this hogwash, which you just have read to our audience, I have no problem with that. But to tell me Islam is what it is not, that is teaching lies. We are not supposed to be teaching our children lies in a textbooks or any of our public schools. They want to open a school for teaching lies, that's fine. Come and go and spend your own money in it. But don't take my tax money to brainwash my own children with a bunch of hogwash lies about Muhammad or Allah or this barbaric cult of Islam, period.
Well, indeed. But on top of that, the fact that I was under the impression they weren't teaching religion in schools.
This is, okay, and so as a Charlotte County graduate, go Pirates, this is what I'm trying to reflect. And I have a fairly decent memory. I remember almost all of my teachers in high school. I remember a lot of what I studied in high school, even though I wasn't as avid a history buff. I have become one now. And I'm reflecting back into what our textbooks showed us back then, 20 years ago. I'm slightly exaggerating, but maybe a few more years than 20 years ago. We've been on a mission to research and find those textbooks. We need to see those and compare and contrast. Where were we then? Where are we now? And how did we get here? What in the world has changed in the last 20 years or 25 years that requires all of this religion in our world history? Because we did not learn it. They were taking holidays off the calendar when we were in school.
Mm-hmm. You know what's amazing? When I look, we have, by the way, a full presentation. It's called Lies in the Textbooks. We're going to be covering some of these. We're not going to do all of it because literally there are 15 lies we just recorded in Vancouver when I have my last show with you in 15-hour programs. 15 hours. I don't think people would sit listen to me for 15 hours, but they're going to be available for people to go and watch it online for free. And 15 hours.
What's the website?
It's thestraightway.org, thestraightway.org. And it's going to take some time to edit all these programs. So not next week, and I don't know if not next 2 months from now. But whenever they're ready, they're going to be available on our website. But when you look at these lies, each one of them, it will blow your mind. In one lie about the Bible, they will tell you, listen to this, world history, Thompson, Woodworth, 2004, on page 25. They said, many scholars today doubt that the early books